Hey guys, so I've been requested a few times for a while just to do an updated video on the top bossing weapons in SAS4, so I think it's probably about time I get around to doing that. So anyway, to start off, I want to give an honorable mention to the Gigavolt because because of its arc in the pierce, just the way it works, it is quite possibly the highest DPS gun as long as you get a large pack of bosses. Not necessarily too large, but like a decent amount and a couple necros in there. But it's a bit complicated to utilize as well, so yeah, that's just an honorable mention. So anyway, number one on my list for the best weapons is the Stripper. It has by far the best power in the game currently. Yeah, which causes issues because it's a dot weapon. This kind of needs to be fixed, but dot weapons seem to cause a lot of issues and in instability with multiplayer. Not so bad in solo, but yeah, they kind of cause issues there. But this thing, as a shotgun, it requires you to get in close, so it's not something you can really consider too much until you've got some good defense. But once you have some good defense and you're willing to get in close quite frequently, this is a good option. The problem is also, if you're planning on doing something like an assault with maxed out DPS and you're going to max core a weapon, then this 3-second dot here is going to make this gun a lot worse because you're going to be killing things in like 2 seconds anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't go for the Stripper in that case. Second in the list, the Hornet. So Hornet is pretty much a great utility thing all around. Low movement speed, it's got accurate fire, it's got a decent rate of fire as well as high damage. So it's great for just long distance. It's got decent pierce and it's got high damage. So second best in my opinion. Also because of the mastery, this super crit here, that makes it more powerful than the proposition, even though it has less actual DPS on the sheet. So yeah, this one I would recommend using the Hornet for a medic and an assault. Next place we have the proposition. So proposition has more sheet power than the Hornet, but yeah, because if we look at the LMG mastery, we don't really gain too much damage here. It's mainly looking at mobbing type bonuses. So unfortunately, we kind of lose out there, but still, it's a very powerful gun. It's got the third place in this list so far. Main problem here is it has a massive movement penalty. This thing I would love to use on a heavy. This is yeah, I'd probably say one of the best weapons to use on a heavy. Because you max out your heavy gear and you can make excellent use of this. Next we have the Shockfield. So Shockfield has, yeah, it's lost a lot of its glory. It used to be the number one weapon by far. Even after the nerf where it got overclocked removed from it, it was still right up there. But now it's dropped quite far, and it's quite sad. But with the most recent nerf, which stops us from being able to reload instantly, it's very, very bad. This is still a powerful weapon, but with its low clip size combined with its fast fire rate, it's very difficult to keep on firing this thing. You're going to be spending a lot of time reloading, which is going to greatly cut out your DPS there. Other than that, it has very good power. It's awesome for mobbing because it holds back enemies, and it's got some decent pierce there as well as like 10 shots per clip, per bullet. Sorry. So this thing, I would recommend using this on a medic. It can have use on other characters, but yeah, mostly for the medic. Mainly because the medic is looking for something else to help him out because he can't really do as much damage. So you can use this to hold back the mobs while you're fighting everything. So very good for that. Recommended for medic. But other than that, since you can't overclock it, it makes using 5% cores on it a lot less effective as well. So that's something else to take into account. Personally, I wouldn't really use cores on anything semi-automatic anymore. So, next place we have the Hicks sniper rifle. This thing, it's slightly weaker than the Shockfield. However, it loses a massive amount of utility for mainly the reason that it's an extremely accurate gun, but only fires one bullet, which has 2 pierce. It's possible to increase that, but you're not really going to get more than 3 pierce unless you're an assault. So this thing can be used effectively in the assault if you have your killing spree up, but other than that, it's terrible for a medic. Would not use it on a medic. Can be used on a heavy, but again, I would not recommend it for a heavy. This thing, also, it's a dot gun over 3 seconds, so it maxed chord, it's going to be losing effectiveness there. And it also is semi-automatic with lower RPS, so it's yet again losing effectiveness from cores there, which is a bit of a shame. Next place, we have the Hicks rocket launcher. So this thing, it's not really so much for mobbing weapon. Can be used for mobbing, but it has lower pierce combined with not really too good a blast radius, so I wouldn't recommend it so much for that. Though if you core it out, get it very powerful, it still tears through them fine. I've seen it in action and it's not a bad option. Main problem with this one, extremely high ammo cost and extremely high movement penalty. So this is one which I would only recommend for a heavy. Again, pair this up with a proposition, Hicks launcher plus proposition, very good combination for a heavy there. Max out your heavy gear and you don't have to worry about that movement penalty at all. Okay. Next, we actually have the Flamethrower, which is another one which I would really not recommend for bossing. It's more of a mobbing weapon. But this thing, extremely expensive to use, 30 RPS. You can't really keep it up with field supplies because it tears through its ammo so fast. However, it is a powerful weapon, can potentially be used as a bossing weapon, but it has stopping power in its bursts, so it's another one which I'd kind of recommend for the medic. You deck your medic out with Shockfield and a Flamethrower, and you got some pretty good potential to hold back enemies and just keep them off you. You're going to be then weak against Wickers, but medic has Biobomb, so you're not really going to be too fussed about resistance, especially if you have adaptive on these in the first place. And in our last place position for this small list, if I have it in here somewhere, is the Shotlite Tempest. So this is probably the best utility shotgun. So it's very automatic. It's not dot. It doesn't have any stopping power though. I mean, it doesn't have any pierce. So it's good for attacking mobs, but you're not going to be able to hold them back or anything. And I don't really see it so much as a bossing weapon, even though it has got some decent DPS there. But it's up on the list still. So anyway, that is my list of the top bossing weapons in SAS4 currently. If you're wondering why I only mentioned 9 weapons, it's because number 10 is the Stripper. The red Stripper. All those other ones were black. The red Stripper makes it in number 10. It beats all the other black weapons. So, yeah, the Stripper's good. Get back into using the Stripper. So yeah, hope this helps you out, and I'll see you around.